Go ahead. 3, 2, 1. Tomado de la mano, yo voy con él. Tomado de la mano, yo voy con él. Tomado de la mano, yo voy con él. ¿A dónde él va? Y si me dice, amigo mío, deja todo y ven conmigo, yo iré a donde él va, le seguiré. Welcome everybody to the Pause Show, and here in the Pause Studios we have visitors. We have the group that went on their first missions, humanitarian, serving, whatever you want to call it. It was everybody's first trip, correct? Except for one person, which is Jasmine. But it was everybody's first trip, right?
Yes.
So, okay, so I'm going to allow themselves to introduce themselves first. Melanie, you can introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is... For those that have not seen the Pod Show already, well, my name is Melanie. It's always usually me and Xiomara here in the Pod Show, but like she said, we have visitors today. So we're going to bring them to them so they can introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Eunice. I am not new to the Pause Show.
Mm-mm.
I usually sit behind the scenes with Jazz, but I am more than happy to be sitting here
She
finally to share my experience that we had in Honduras.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Evelyn.
Hi, Evelyn. Which we called her what?
Mother.
Mother.
I'm here to share a little bit of my experience in Honduras as well.
I thought she was going to say more.
We'll put the sound effects in the back with the clap.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I am the... What would you call me here?
The one who made this all happen.
Well, yeah, for the trip. But I am also behind the scenes in the Pause Show. And yes, I am the one that created this lovely little trip.
Thank you.
Oh.
El Father. Buenas. Hola, mi nombre es Patricio. Primera vez en algo así, de un estudio. Me siento un poquito nervioso, pero sí, estoy aquí para compartir lo que vivimos en Honduras. Una experiencia muy linda y espero pues que lo puedan recibir como nosotros lo recibimos cuando llegamos. Estamos aquí para eso. Esperando pues que todo lo que digamos aquí sea transparente con ustedes y puedan sentir lo que sentimos nosotros allá.
Yes. Yes.
Y ese es el propósito.
Amen. Amen. This is going to be Spanglish, English and Spanish. Now, just for you to know, we're going to have a lot of like inside jokes, perhaps, but we will reveal them as we're talking. Like mother and el father. Why do we say that? Well, they were the only couple in this trip. So out of nowhere, we just looked at them and we said, yeah, that's mother and father. And then
We were the three.
The
girls.
four.
Oh, the four girls. And they were the father and the mother.
The four girls that at one point became a little too much for Patricio in the truck that we all squeezed into the back seat. But nonetheless, it was great to have them on this trip. We felt protected having a male there. I felt protected at least. So we're just happy that everyone's here and we're going to get to discuss what happened in Honduras. We're so excited to talk about it. So before we start, I just want to ask one simple question. Whoever wants to answer first, please don't hesitate. If Honduras could speak to you today, what do you think it will say to you?
Come back.
I was going to say
thought that as well.
I was going to say
that. That's what it did to me.
Do share.
Well, Honduras left a I don't even know what the word to express, but uh I know that I want to go back because the people over there, they were so it was different. It wasn't the same. I For me it wasn't the same type of the way we say hi, the love here. I felt the need over there that people needed our love, our care. And there was people that marked I know that they marked many of your hearts. They also marked my heart.
Mm-hmm.
We can name several of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lovely country. It was my first time to even go out of the United States like that, to visit a country. And I thank our missionary Jasmine for trusting me to go with her to this trip. It was a very lovely, lovely experience, in the physical and in the spiritual side. But I know that everybody here has a little bit to say. And yeah, but Honduras, we're definitely coming back. We're definitely coming back, and I am coming back with my guitar.
Your guitar.
This is the guitar that I took over there. I wasn't expecting for this guitar to be famous.
It ministered.
And ministered, yes. It did ministered, especially to the elderly people.
Yes.
So they really enjoyed it. You saw their cheers, and that kind of caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting that. And that's why I was like, you know what, like we need to return. And I will return with my guitar. It lasted the 9 days there. Unfortunately, it did broke, but this will always hold memories, and it will always come back with me. As you can see, I placed a sticker there and it says Te amamos Honduras. So we do
Yay.
love you, Honduras. The people over there, everybody there did treat us very, very,
Yes.
very kind. Very kind. It was a different type of love that we felt over there. Not that we feel the same love here, but it was very different over there. So yes, we'll be
So,
back.
if you didn't know this, Eunice doesn't play guitar. She doesn't know notes. She doesn't know anything about a guitar. So she brought this little companion with her everywhere that she went. But what she didn't realize was that when you fall into, let's say, the will of God in that moment, He uses whatever He needs to use to bring forth what He needs to bring forth at that moment. And with her, this being a joke, it turned into a ministering moment for every single person that we walked into. And at the first time that it happened, she just did it playing around. And when we saw the reaction of the people, we realized like this is not joking around no more. And there was a moment where Miss Eunice was asked to come with her guitar and play. They were asking for it. Again, she doesn't know how to play the guitar, but it wasn't her playing it. It was just watching the Spirit of the Lord working through her. And I remember there was a moment where we went to visit this elderly man that touched us all, which we will talk about him separately, right? And I think that was the first time that she not only connected one with the guitar, she also connected with what was happening in the atmosphere. That she started to play and sing, and she started to cry, and she wanted to walk out of the room. Actually, she was walking out the room saying, I can't do this. And we looked at her and said, no, 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 no. You have to turn around and finish what you have started because you are ministering to someone who needs it right now. So, do you want to share what happened in that moment? What was it that you felt really fast?
Yeah, so this elderly that really touched our hearts. I believe it touched everybody's hearts here.
You can say his name.
His name is Tincito. We love you, Tincito. He so not to get into details, because I'm pretty sure you'll probably get into details later on. the way we found him. But this was the second time around that we went to see him. And when we were in that room and they asked me to play the guitar, a corito, a song for him. And I said, okay. And it's the moment that I started to bawl is because he looked at me and he started crying. He was like, and he pointed to the guitar, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that a little guitar. This is a toy guitar, by the way, to be real. This is a toy guitar because those of you that don't know me, I'm always around kids, and I bought this guitar, to entertain kids. But I knew that I was going to be around kids in Honduras, but this didn't entertain kids in Honduras. It actually entertained the elderly people, which actually touched my heart even bigger, because just the way that they would see it and the way that they would see me play, like if I knew how to play the guitar, and they would be like, oh, like, wow, she's really playing that little guitar. And I guess in their ears, they heard a different melody than what I thought I was playing.
You sounded good, Eunice.
So with him, it touched me because it's just the way we kind of like locked eyes, because he looked at me and then he pointed at the guitar, and I said, oh my God, I can't do this. But they talked me into it. It's not like I couldn't do it. It's just at the moment it was a lot. So I just had to go out, take a breather, and then go back and do it again, for him.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. We have a lot of moments and stories to share, right? But we're only going to share like the most impactful ones, because if not, we'll be here all day. It was 9 days, you guys, and maybe we should have done a series instead of just one sit down, because I know that we all have something to say. But going back to the question, if anybody wants to say anything, if Honduras could speak to you today, what do you think it would say to you?
I think like we all kind of said the same thing of like that, hearing that like come back. So I think we can all relate to that. But just bouncing off what Eunice said, it's really just the impact that Honduras had with every single one of us. And um like she said, there's no right word or way to express it, but at least for me, that's how I took it. It had an impact in every area of my heart, because we experienced something different every day, and not even in one day. We experienced different things. Like it was like so much that I guess the best word to say is that, yeah, it's that it had an impact in every area of our life and our emotions and our experience. And it's something that we value because I felt like our love over there was valued. I felt like our time and just our presence was valued over there. And feeling that value, feeling that welcoming, um it's a gift to feel welcomed and to be able to feel the love of other people. We took that with us, and we went over there with the perspective of like, we're bringing something, but it's really more like we left with something more than probably what we gave, right? And that's really the impact that stayed with me with Honduras. So as everybody else said, it's really just that voice of like, come back. Because I think we all, like both Honduras and us, felt uh a divine connection with the idea of going over there. It was much more than we expected.
Okay.
I do want to
Go
share
ahead.
something. So I know we speak about the love of God, but over there, like I didn't think it was possible to fall in love with people like in a matter of minutes. It's like it was like they captivated us, and that's what I felt. That was something different. And like I said, we speak about the love of God, but we actually felt it like in one instant. Like you are willing to even lay down your life for somebody, and that's what I felt in Honduras.
That's very true to what the love of Christ is. We we speak about this over here, but I think it felt more alive and it woke up.
Yes.
It was more seen over there. And this is why we left with such an impact that we didn't even have words for days to describe what it is that we felt over there. But that was a good way of describing it. Did you want to say something, Patricio?
No, digo, el amor de Cristo se pudo sentir allá.
Mm.
Las personas que reciben, la forma que recibieron expresaban ese amor y se sentía genuinamente de parte de ellos. Y ese amor que ellos compartían, nosotros lo sentíamos.
Mhm.
Y por eso que era como que dábamos y recibíamos.
Sí.
No solamente fuimos a llevar algo material, pero recibimos ese amor que nos dejó impactado, creo que a todos los que llegamos allá. Y eso es lo lindo de esto.
Sí.
Es lo bonito de dar. Dice que es mejor dar que recibir.
Sí.
Y eso es lo que me llevé yo de allá, el amor genuino de esta gente que me hizo sentir algo diferente.
Sí.
Eso me llevé yo, ese amor lindo.
Amen. Something that I think that Honduras is saying is to us is this is where you found what you were looking for. I think all of us here, life is so fast paced. We always have to do something and not really doing anything. That's what it feels like. And then we end up in Honduras and the pace was so slow. I mean, we think it was slow. No. Let's not say that. We had so much time over there. I don't know how. We did so many things over there in one day. I remember Evelyn saying once, I think we did like 5 days in one.
We were stuck in a
Because-
loophole.
Yeah, we're stuck in a loophole, just going. But we were never tired. We never felt drained because we were actually doing something that we so wanted to do for a very long time. We finally found something that connected with our hearts, that aligned with our spirit. And that's why it felt so much joy and so much peace. And we felt the love of God so tangible. But I don't want to keep talking, right? Because I want to ask Jasmine, why was Honduras the first trip that you said yes to?
Well, originally it wasn't the first trip that I said yes to. For my people in Africa that are watching, I did speak with a missionary over there. Her name is Jackie, and we spoke about this last year, doing this trip. But when this trip actually came about from our pastor's mom, having a conversation with her. And I know this church personally over there because I was part of the founding of the church over here. So the church that built it on this side and raised the money and did everything for it, I was actually growing up in that time. I was a teenager watching all of this. So I always felt in my heart that I wanted to go actually see the place. So I remember that I was just having a conversation with her in the back one day, in the back of the church when she came, and I told her and I said, I think we should go to Honduras. So it was just like a crazy, like, let's just go. And then she was like, sure. The best time to go is in February. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna start looking for my flight. So it was just like very like nonchalant, the conversation. But through that, I didn't imagine everything that was gonna like transpire after that, after just a crazy idea, because that's usually how my ideas start, very crazy. And then we just started communicating throughout the months. And then I asked the church who wanted to go, and people started raising their hands. And I was like, oh, this is real. Like, even me, it wasn't like planned. So I was like, oh, like, who wants to come with me? So then after that, people started raising their hands. And then basically one thing led to the other, and we packed up stuff and we asked around and got people to fund us, and we ended up going.
Okay. All right. So after she said that she was going, she asked the question, does anybody want to go? And what did we do? Everyone,
Raise our hands.
everyone here raised their hands, right? And said we're going. Now, really quickly, what was your confirmation for going? Because I need you to understand something. This trip was supernatural from the very beginning. All of it. Even to all of us deciding to unite with Jasmine and go. So I want you to share in, I guess, 2 minutes or less. What was your confirmation to go?
Okay, well, I guess I'll share mine first. It's hard to explain it very briefly, but for me, I always told Jazz, and she knows this. I was telling her from the beginning, whenever you do your missionary trip, wherever it is that you go, count me in. I'm there. And it didn't matter the location. I just told her I want to go. I always knew that I wanted to experience that, and I've always had that heart to want to help others. Um when she mentioned Honduras, it was very like quick because it was February, and I think you mentioned it when it was like November.
November.
It was like November, and from November to February to plan something like this, like to me, I'm a huge like organizer and planner of stuff. So I was like, this is very like not a lot of time. Yeah. So you have to save money, you have to do this. And I didn't know, one thing is traveling with family, another thing is traveling in a missionary trip. So I had this idea of how it was gonna go at the beginning. And then things started shifting in my personal life. And suddenly it's like I knew that I still wanted to go, but so much had happened that I was like, I don't know if this is, in all honesty to everybody here, I felt like it wasn't my place to go anymore. I was like, God, I don't think it's meant for me to go based on everything that's happening, based on everything that I see. And financially, that was one of the biggest obstacle. I was no longer earning what I was earning before, being very transparent. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't, like, God, I can't do this. Everybody had bought the tickets. Well, not everybody, I think. Well, yeah, everybody to go, right? Everybody to
Yes.
go had bought the tickets already, and I was the only one that hadn't yet. And as I kept checking, like nobody knows this because obviously it was me every day, like checking, and it was between me and God. And I was like, God, like, look at this, like this is too much. You know that I want to go, you know that I want to do this for you, but I can't. I don't have the money for it. It was like $700, $600. One time it even went up to $800. I checked again. The lowest that it would go was up to 500. And I remember that every check that I was getting, like me, this is me being very transparent here. Like weekly, I was getting like 400 to 500, the max that I was earning. So I told God, I was like, all right, God, like this Friday coming up, I know I'm getting a $500 check. So the ticket that you open up for me has to be this amount or less. So I'll be able to go. And that Friday, I prayed and everything, and I said, this is the deadline. And it was already, when did I buy the tickets? Like 2 weeks before we went? Like it was already, that's why I was like, this is the deadline. If I don't buy it now, like Jazz is gonna choke me for not, and I can't, like I can't, like this is it. Like I can't keep waiting, God. And so that Friday came, and that morning as I was working, I was busy, but I was like, all right, God, I'm gonna check the flight that they had, a United flight. All right, guys, this is not just any airline. Because I was even checking. I was telling Jazz, I was like, if I have to go through Spirit Airlines, if I have to go through, whatever it is, but I'll buy it. I'm gonna do it. And then I go, and the first thing in the first flight that comes up, it's the same one that they all had, the same flight, the flight that was coming up to like $700, guys, was 130 139 $139. And the first thing that I did was call Jazz. And I was like, Jazz, like it's 130. No, I called CEO. I don't know, I called both of you. And you guys were like, what? And Jazz was like, no, send me the picture. Like if I was like, I'm being so serious, like I don't get fooled with these things. I always buy it on Expedia, like it's 139, and it's the same, like it's the same flight that they had. And I was also like very worried about that, because I was like, this is my first flight with them, and I'm gonna be flying in a different airline. It's not gonna be in the same plane. Like, I also wanted that experience with all of you guys, but I was willing to do it but as soon as that like flight came in, and as soon as that price came up, it was God. That was God. And I said, okay, God, you want me on this trip? So I'm gonna buy the ticket, $139. I had $500. I told him that was all I had, and he gave me a ticket, and then that's when I bought it. And I said, that's it, I'm going. So to me, that was my confirmation. It took a very long time, because I felt like it was a back and forth between me and God. Like, I don't know, yes, no, yes, no. But if he opened up that door for me, it was his way of telling me, yeah,
He made
yeah,
the final decision for
yep,
you.
it's for you.
I
So
remember when we got the phone call, I looked at Jazz and I said, you better check that. You better check that, because there's no way that's $139. What? But that was confirmation that she was supposed to be on this trip. And who did it?
Papa.
The Lord did that for her. So that's her confirmation, Eunice.
Okay. So obviously I didn't get my ticket for $139.
None of us did.
I had to pay, the price that. But the way I knew that that I was, supposed to go on this trip. So I was supposed to go on this. I was, Jazz always been talking about missionaries, that she's gonna do a trip. The first trip was Africa, because I was like, I want to go to Africa. And so I was like, yes, Jazz, whenever you do that trip, I'm going with you. I always tell her, I said, Jazz, take me with you. I love serving the community. I love serving. I love helping people. My heart is to help others. And, God gave me that. So I said, take me with you. I'll go with you. And when she mentioned that in the church, who's going, I raised my hand. Was I sure if I was going? No. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't sure, because I said, okay, Eunice, like, this is money now. So by the time that she announced it in church, looking for prices, they were very high. They were like, $700. So I said, I'm not gonna pay $700. But God, if you open that way, that there's no problem. But anyways, as time went by, I finally bought my ticket in December, and Eunice bought her ticket, but Eunice didn't have a passport. And I'm not gonna go through the story of my passport, because it was a little long, and it was a process. It was really a process. But Eunice bought a round trip ticket without a passport. So you can only imagine that we're only 2 months away, right? We were only like 2 months away. And I said, people were telling me, the passport usually takes about a month and a half. And I was like this. I was like, oh my goodness, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I started the process of the passport. Again, if you want to know the story, you could come directly to me. And I will tell you, because it was a process that I went through. But God is so good that through a confirmation of my sister Evelyn, and also my passport, guys, came the week before we left. The Friday before we left the 7th. That my passport came the Friday before. If you do the math, it was a week before, and the week prior, I was praying to God, and I said, God, I don't know what to do. I have to tell Jazz that I'm not going. I have to cancel the flight, because I'm not going. But he knew in my heart, he knew that this was for me. He knew that I needed this experience, which, this is one of many, because Jazz, I will be going to you with wherever you go, because I definitely want to go to Africa. So Africa, wait for Eunice, because she's coming.
with a passport.
With
my passport, with my guitar. I will have one just for Africa, though, okay? This is for Honduras. So, but that was my experience. And I knew that when I got that passport, only God knows the way I felt, and I said, yes, thank you, Lord, because God made the way. He gave me he gave me that like that, okay, yes, here you can go. So again, if you want to hear the story about how I got how I went through with the passport, you can come directly to me and I will let you know.
You see how um I could picture God looking at Eunice from heaven and saying, "My daughter, you don't have a passport, but you still want to go to Honduras? What's going on here, Eunice?" He's like, "I just have to move things because her desire to go is like a little kid wanting ice cream. And she wanted it so much that she prayed and she probably saturated God's heaven. We're like, please, 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 please." And he's like, "Oh my God, let's make this happen."
I cried. That was nice.
And he did that because there was no way that she could have gotten her passport in that short amount of time. And we didn't know. We didn't even have an idea that Eunice didn't have a passport, okay? Because she didn't
They
share
didn't
that
even ask.
information with us until she called us crying and saying, "Guess what, you guys?" And then we just looked at her like, this is our friend. This is our friend. But she ended up going, and who did that? God did that. So thank you for sharing that. Evelyn?
Well, I remember once Jasmine came over. Well, everybody, the whole church was over, right? And Jasmine was speaking to me about Africa and everything, and I was all excited. I was like, "Oh, I want to go." Inside of me, I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to go." I was like, "I want to go." And then after, time passed, and when she told everybody, she asked everybody, "Oh, raise your hand who wants to go to Honduras." And to be honest with you, inside, I did want to raise my hand, but I didn't because I was like, I'm not by myself. I can't just show accountability for myself. I was like, one, I have to run it by God. Another thing is I have to run it by my husband. We're one. So I was like, nope, I can't raise my hand. So then I remember I went in the car, me and him, we were speaking, and I was like, we should go to Honduras. We should go. I know this is from God. I know we should go. We should go. And then like, because I was remembering all my dreams, my past dreams and everything. I was like, I feel like, yes, we should go. And he was like, no, unless God tells me to go, I am not going, Evelyn. I am not going. And that's the only way I'm going. And I was like, oh God. And I was praying to God. I was like, God, please tell him. And then after like days passed, I remember, and then like I kept having dreams that I was in another place. I kept having dreams I was in another place. And he was having the same dreams as well. He was having, and it was like they were connected. And then he was like, "Oh, you know what? I think we should go to Honduras." And he'll share his dreams and everything because I don't want to be a spoiler, but yes, but that was our confirmation that we had to go to Honduras.
Amen. Patricio.
Bueno, como dijo ella, ¿verdad? Yo no iba a ir a ningún lado, la verdad, cuando a misionera Jasmine dijo, levanten la mano a toda la iglesia, yo no levanté mi mano, porque yo tenía planes como irme de vacaciones. y cuando Evelyn estaba toda emocionada en el carro, diciendo, vamos a Honduras, vamos. Yo le digo, no, ¿cómo vamos a ir a Honduras? Mi cara no miente. Yo le digo, no, yo no voy a ningún lado, a no ser que Dios me diga, vete, yo voy. Y así fue. Esa misma noche yo puse el viaje en oración. No es que me contestó de una vez, yo tuve un sueño, pero esa noche yo se lo puse en oración a Dios. Le pregunté, Señor, si tú quieres que yo vaya a Honduras, pues déjame saber. Yo quiero que sea confirmación tuya de que yo esté en ese lugar. Y así fue como uno de esas semanas, no recuerdo exactamente, porque ella me dice, escribe los sueños, porque los sueños tienen un significado. Yo no escribo, pero he soñado muchas cosas que se han vuelto realidad. Entonces, uno de los sueños que tuve fue que yo estaba con las muchachas, yo me acuerdo que estaba Pastora Xiomara, estaba Jaslyn y Jasmine, y venían con la maleta, pero ellas venían con la maleta bajando y yo era el único hombre. Yo decía, ¿cómo vas a dejar que esas mujeres carguen esas maletas? Entonces yo le decía, déjame ayudarte. Ese fue el sueño que tuve, déjame ayudarte. Yo cogía las maletas y las ayudaba a ella, porque teníamos que subir unas escaleras. Y yo las ayudaba, entonces ese fue el sueño que tuve, que subíamos unas escaleras y que íbamos a entrar a unos cuartos. Para sorpresa mía, yo soñé eso, como que íbamos de viaje con ella. Entonces digo, bueno, eso es como una confirmación de que yo voy a viajar con ella, porque era la única mujer y yo era el único hombre que tenía que ayudarlas a ella. Y eso fue lo que soñé. Pero para la sorpresa mía, yo digo, bueno, fue un sueño solamente. Muchos pueden decir, oh, fue un sueño. Cuando yo llego allá, a Choloteca se llama el lugar donde llegamos,
Yeah.
que llegamos a la recepción, que yo estoy viendo así con las maletas, porque 2 señores nos ayudaron. Los señores que estaban en el parking lot nos ayudaron, porque eran 1, 2, 3, 4, son 6 personas, eran como 10 maletas. Yo era el único hombre, entonces habían hombres que nos estaban ayudando, pero yo cuando veo a esos hombres yo subiendo las maletas y yo miro para allá donde está esa escalera y yo, wow, ese fue el sueño que yo tuve. Y a mí en ese momento hasta el cuerpo se me despelucó porque ese fue un sueño. Gracias, Señor, dije yo, porque es como una confirmación para mí.
Amén.
Y esa fue mi confirmación del sueño que tuve. Dios me lo dio en sueño.
Amén.
Y no solo ese sueño, pero más adelante quiero entrar en otro sueño que tuve, que yo lo compartí antes de viajar.
Amén. Amén.
Y eso lo quiero compartir más adelante, pero la confirmación, como dijo mi esposa, fue por medio de un sueño. Dios me habló por medio de un sueño. Y la palabra lo dice, ¿no? Que los ancianos, no es que yo soy anciano, van a tener sueños.
Oh my
Y para
gosh.
añadir un poquito, sorry, él no estaba supuesto a ser el único hombre because Jose was supposed to go, Pastor was supposed to go, so it ended up, you see, and
Just
he
being
ended-
him.
So that was also a confirmation.
Yeah.
Oh, sí,
Yeah.
¿verdad?
This is to show that you just don't decide for yourself to do things. It's God ordained. And when you really go into his presence and ask if you want, if this is something that he wants you to do, he will answer you. For me, there was no, just because she's my friend doesn't mean that I'm going to go everywhere with her. She was saying that I was going, but inside of me, I'm like, nope, I am not a missionary. I am not going to any trips. I have a problem with food. So I am not going. She just kept saying it. But inside of me, I was like, I'm not going, Lord. The only way that I'm going is if you say yes to me. So what did the Lord do? Okay, I heard your prayer. And he used Sister Evelyn and another lady from church. But from her point of view, she saw a passport, right? It was a passport stamped, and that said yes. Or the other one said yes. I don't know which one. I get them mixed up. But the point is that there was 2 confirmations when it came to me to go. So I just wanted to share this part because this is a testimony of like when God does something, he unites the people that were supposed to go. And he says, okay, here you go, my children. You're all gathering together. This is your time to do this because you presented it to me and you say yes. Now for Jasmine, did you see this group?